What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Z Sports and Entertainment. I am Z, coming to you from the basement. This is episode 2 of the evening. Episode 44 overall. Um, Before we get into it, again, prayers up for Damar Hamlin, safety. Buffalo Bills young man is fighting for his life up in the University of Cincinnati Hospital. So all our prayers and condolences are with him and his family. So, Damar Hamlin, we're praying for you. Get well soon, man. Today, right now, at this very moment, what we're gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about the national championship game, TCU versus my Georgia Bulldogs. Lord have mercy, I've been waiting to talk about this one. Um, Probably should have did this video before the Damar Hamlin video because now I'm all emotional and stuff like that. But we gonna get through it. How about them fucking dogs, man? How about them fucking dogs? I ain't been that hyped watching a football game in a very long time. The second half of that game was scratch that. The fourth quarter of that game was everything a Georgia fan could wish for. I'm talking about down. What? What were we down? It don't even matter. Arian Smith, true speed, 4-2. Got the cornerback spinning in circles, can't keep up. Wide open, Stetson Bennett finds him. Go for two. Lad McConkey with a busted knee. Cuts the lead to 3. Ohio State does answer. They come down the field and they kick a field goal, 41-35. That ain't no problem. That ain't no problem. Stetson, the mailman, motherfucking Bennett, drives the field, hits A.D. Mitchell in the corner of the end zone, 41-41. Jake Palecki kicks the extra point, 42-41. Georgia goes up. When I tell you, I think it was 54 seconds. Those 54 seconds were the longest 54 seconds of my life. Oh my God. Watching C.J. Stroud run down the middle of the field for what looked like 30 yards to get them in the field goal range. Oh my God. Kirby Smart, all 3 of his timeouts in the second half is what won us the game. Timeout number 1, it was to stop the substitution, I believe. Timeout number 2 was to stop the fake punt that would have extended Ohio State's drive and probably put them out of striking distance. Kirby Smart, kudos to you, my boy. Third timeout, ice the kicker. You don't let him get a practice kickoff. You do it early in the clock. That game was Saturday. It's about to be Wednesday, and I'm still on pins and needles. That was tough. That was a crazy game. I mean, every aspect of that game was good. Every aspect of that game was great. That is why we have a college football playoff. That is why they are extending the college football playoff. I mean, damn, Georgia. Oh my God. Oh my God. Only controversy I want to talk about from that game, only thing that I want to talk about from that game is everybody is saying that if Marvin Harrison Jr. wouldn't have got hurt, that Georgia would have lost. Now, very similar situation happened last year. Last year, SEC championship, John Mechie. Is it Mechie or Mechie? John Mechie, Alabama's wide receiver, tore his ACL in the SEC championship game, put them out. But Alabama still had Jamison Williams, so they was able to pull out the win in the SEC championship game last year. National championship game, Jamison Williams tears his ACL. A lot of people said that if those 2 injuries don't occur, that Georgia does not win national championship last year. My point is this. Whenever there's a championship won or whenever somebody is crowned as champion, you need a little luck. And I'm not saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. getting hurt is quote-unquote lucky because that's not good for him. That young man had 100-plus yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half, and he was on pace to have a historic day in that Peach Bowl. But unfortunately, there was a play. There was C.J. Stroud threw it up to Marvin Harrison Jr. in the end zone. Marvin Harrison Jr. positioned himself perfectly to catch that football and come down with it. Unfortunately, Mr. Bullock, number 22 from Georgia, had other plans. And what his plans consisted of was a clean hit, hard enough to knock the ball out. Unfortunately, also hard enough to knock Marvin Harrison out of the game because of concussion protocol. Honest opinion, do I feel like Georgia would have won if Marvin Harrison Jr. stays in the game? I don't know. I do not know. I am not going to give Ohio State fans the satisfaction of saying whatever it is they want to hear. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a hell of a player. If eligible, would probably be the best receiver coming out, the top receiver coming out of the draft this year. Georgia won. 42-41, moving on to the national championship. And it's crazy because he missed that kick right as the clock hit like zero, and not as the clock hit zero, but as the new year came in. It was just crazy. It was crazy. That whole little scene. Oh Lord, I got y'all looking at my long socks. But watching that game was fun. It was crazy. It was great. I really wish I could go back and watch that fourth quarter, because I was sitting here with my brother, man, and I don't think he ever seen me that hype, ever. But it felt good to let that out. It felt good to feel that. It felt good to bring the new year in with some genuine joy. I truly hope that is the beginning of 2023 being the year, hopefully for me, y'all, Georgia teams, Atlanta, whatever you want to call it, but that was a hell of a way to bring the year in. I'm excited. I can't wait to get going. I can't wait for Monday night. I'm looking forward to it. I ain't going to get caught up on TCU too long. I ain't going to get caught up on TCU too much. TCU came out in the Fiesta Bowl, handled their business against Michigan, had J.J. McCarthy throwing ducks. Michigan tried their hardest to come back, but ultimately what TCU did in the first half was just too much. Don't get me wrong. I truly believe Max Duggan, Sonny Dykes, and Quentin Johnston is going to be a problem. But I do feel that the two best teams in this particular playoff played last Saturday night in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I don't think TCU is on the same playing field as Georgia. And although Michigan beat Ohio State in the regular season, I'm a true believer that Michigan was just a better team that day, not overall. That's my honest to God opinion. Nothing against Michigan. They have a great program. They have a great coach. They have great players. But it's something about that team with the way they're constructed that they cannot win the big game. For a long time, beating Ohio State, that was the big game. The next step, you got to win a playoff game. That's just, if the Big Ten is going to compete with the SEC in any kind of a way, you got to win. You got to win your playoff games. You look at the Big Ten's track record since the college football playoff and going all the way back to the start of this thing, they only have one team that can represent the Big Ten in a winning fashion, and that's Ohio State. Cardale Jones coming in, like Cardale Jones, Ezekiel Elliott. That particular Ohio State team is the team you have to go back to for the Big Ten to even compare to the SEC. Not that this competition or anything, but I'm just saying. Michigan got to go back to the drawing board. Ohio State, y'all had a hell of a season, and it really sucks that y'all had to play Georgia in the semifinal game versus possibly competing against them in the championship. But that's the perks of winning your conference. That's the perks of going undefeated if you're Michigan. TCU, y'all saved y'all best performance for that Fiesta Bowl. I tell you what, Max, and that defense, it wasn't even necessarily the offense. It was, I know they gave up a lot of points. I know a lot of things transpired in that game, but to watch them, like, they commanded Michigan. Like, this is a Big 12 team who, you know, the Big 12 gets made fun of because they quote-unquote can't play defense. And that defense came out and shut Michigan down first quarter. I'm talking about shut them down, and it kept them down long enough for them to seal the victory. I ain't got too much on TCU. I ain't got nothing against TCU. My honest opinion, I think Georgia got the adversity part of the playoff out of their system. I think everything Ohio State gave them is only going to make them better and prepare them for TCU. I don't think that it's anything TCU can throw Georgia's way that they haven't seen and they won't be prepared for. Again, nothing against Sonny Dykes, nothing against that organization and that team in TCU, but I'm just a true believer in Georgia is different. I have Georgia by more than 2 touchdowns. If you want to take me up on that bet, hit my inbox, hit the comments, whatever you want. But I just truly believe that Georgia is the hard part is over. And that's not me overlooking TCU or underestimating them, but I don't think Georgia can be stopped. Not by TCU. As far as a prediction goes, my college football national championship prediction: TCU 24, Georgia 41. That's my prediction. I got Georgia going back to back. I got Stetson Bennett riding off into the sunset with Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, all those guys. And I just really hope we can pull this off. I do. I want to say the last time we went to California for a bowl game was the Rose Bowl against Oklahoma. Georgia fans travel well. That's all I got to say. On a side note, I am excited to see the college football playoff expand to 12 teams. Reason being, that USC and Tulane game, I'm going to give Tulane their flowers while I got a chance. That was a hell of a game. And it's crazy because not many, if any, USC players set out for, draft purposes or stuff like that. Like, they had Caleb Williams. They didn't have Jordan Addison. But they had T. Washington, they had Mario Williams, they had number 2, who made some crazy ass catches. Tulane came out there and beat USC. Point blank, period, cut and dry. They beat them. Now, if that's a college football playoff matchup, that game is in USC, and Tulane goes on the road and upset. It's just so many different possibilities. I'm excited for Monday. This has been a hell of a season. It's been a hell of a bowl season. It's been some crazy ass shit happening. It's just crazy. I cannot wait to come to you guys Monday night, Tuesday morning, whenever, and have this recap video. Hopefully I'm coming in with my Georgia gear on and I can just talk my shit. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, Georgia 41, TCU 24, Georgia going back to back. Go Dogs, man. I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. All of that. I want it all. And again, prayers up for DeMar Hamlin. We wishing you the best, man. See you out.